Well, what is up, guys? It's Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News, the only live call-in show somewhere. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the April 29th asteroid and how a lot of people are going into hiding. It's kind of wary, but we're going to ask the questions, is that really something to worry about? We'll be right back right after this. All right, settle down, you guys. Stop clapping. I'm not a nurse. All right, guys, if you've never been here before, my name is Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the April 29th asteroid, and it is absolutely all over the internet, and I'm going to tell you if you should worry or not. We're going to ask some questions on some of the most obvious things out there, obviously there's a lot of stuff saying that our president is in hiding because of stupid remarks that he made. Is that really the truth? Of course, we have our military in bunkers. These are all accepted facts. These are all mainstream articles that have come out. Again, we're actually going to go over all of them, and you guys can follow along the entire process. We back up every single thing we say with a bibliography of sorts on our website. When you go to marfooglenews.com, you'll actually see that we organize it by thumbnail. So when you see this thumbnail on our website, you'll actually be able to click on it, and you will be able to get to it. Now, our website is actually just incredibly growing faster than our channels, which I never thought. In fact, we have moved providers, I think 3 or 4 times. Dex, I think 3 times at least. But again, we're going to bring in Dex here. Once you click on this, you will actually see that it shows you every single video, every single tweet, every single article that we are actually going to go over today. And you can either follow along, or if we don't have time to actually hit the entire story, you can go and read the rest. So you don't have to take our word for it. You can go look at our source, where we got it from, and otherwise. If we say something that is not on something we can back up, then we actually clarify so then you know that's not something that is backed in paper. On the right side of that website, you can also find any of our sponsors. Obviously, there's a lot of people asking about EMP Shield, especially with all the new news coming out about that, about the grid, everything that's been going on. Of course, the new bill that T-Man signed, and then, all of that. So we, of course, have covered that. You guys can go back and actually look at that on our website. That's marfooglenews.com. Real quick, just have to make sure we do this. Nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else on the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. Okay, with that being said, let's bring in Dex. Can we do a sound check? And again, yeah, we've changed providers for our website at least 3 times, just because it keeps getting bigger.
That's right, Adam. Hello, I am here. Hello, Foogle fam. Yeah, man, the website's, we got a lot of people coming to the website. So every now and then it gets a little slow. We try to make things better and work with our providers and scale up. So,
well, on top of the internet and everything else that's happening, it's like you have so many people going to a website, it closes it down. It's really nuts. So anyways, we're going to go into this. Obviously, a lot of people, and we, of course, go over some of the things that you guys are saying. And again, this is not exactly, this isn't how it is. It's just how it's being said it is. So we need to talk about this. I, of course, have a firm belief, which, of course, I have seen, and I know people that have talked about how FEMA is actually putting a lot of money into recovery and preparation for some sort of debris field. Now, this could be 50 years out. That's the thing. I also asked you guys to do FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. If you guys can get more information on that, I always say follow the money, and I guarantee we're going to see more stuff on that come out. But is it tomorrow? Is it 4 days from now? We don't know that. That's a thing that I don't know. There is apparently a Class 2 gas giant that very well could affect things. That's the other thing. Everything we've heard says that they don't know exactly what would happen if something ginormous came by Earth. The thing that they are actually not worried about is not even something hitting. It's us going through the tail of something gigantic. And it's not necessarily, what is it called? Atlas or any of the others. It could be. It's something, even bigger. So I know there's a lot of people screaming from the pews saying, we've talked about this for years, this and that. I don't think anybody knows for a fact. What we can tell you, though, that there is a big asteroid that is going to pass by on April 29th. It says, here's how to see that huge asteroid that will safely pass Earth in April. This, of course, is in 4 days. It says, orbit of asteroid 52768 1998 OR2. It requires 3 years and 8 months to orbit the sun. And it says it gets nearly as far from the sun as Jupiter, about 5 times Earth distance from the sun. Have you heard the buzz about a big, very big asteroid that will pass close in April? We have. No, it won't hit our planet. In fact, it won't have any effects on Earth. It says, still excitement is building among both professional and amateur astronomers about the upcoming flyby of asteroid 52768, the biggest asteroid due to fly by Earth this year, coming closest on April 29th, 2020. This space rock is probably at least a mile wide and maybe 2.5 times that big. It says closest approach is April 29th around 5:56 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So that would essentially be, 2:56 my time. It would be in the middle of the night for America that we have this thing get its closest. Now, this is what people are talking about. Again, this is just what the internet is buzzing about because a lot of CEOs have stepped down. A lot of weird things have happened via, CV and everything that's going around with the world event. This is something that's very strange. Now, we've talked about several of these, and I'll just say this. It says, the hunt for hazardous asteroids continues even after most telescopes have closed. Now, again, we've covered this before. This isn't breaking 5 minutes ago. This is just to remind you. In fact, there's about 6 stories here that I want you guys to be reminded of. It says, as the CV crisis continues around the planet, humanity's gaze is firmly fixed on the pandemic playing out around us. Meanwhile, more than 100 of the Earth's largest research telescopes have been forced to shutter their doors. It says it's the perfect time for an asteroid to strike. Many space fans deadpanned in reply. But there's no need to worry about an incoming asteroid, not any more than usual, that is, at least despite the closures. Earth's top asteroid hunting instruments remain on the prowl for potentially deadly space rocks. Now, here is one thing to think of. All of these major telescopes are forced to close, even though there is a good percentage of them which are only manned by one person, or a good chunk of these smaller to medium range ones can actually be run by one person. Now, most of the dangerous ones that have hit in the past or have come close or were discovered last minute were not discovered by these 8 or whatever, the ones that the U.S. controls, telescopes. They were discovered either by amateur astronomers or by these smaller telescopes that are not on the prowl for, planet killers, as they call them. It says, NASA funds most major asteroid hunting efforts. The space agency has a congressional mandate to find some 90% of near-Earth objects, or NEOs, larger than 460 feet across. As the name implies, NEOs are comets or asteroids that get a little too close for comfort. That is also saying that some of the small ones, and actually a lot of the small ones, get through the radar and we do not find them. That is also saying that 90% of the huge ones are found. That leaves 10% that are not. We had the one that hit Jamaica last year that they said, oh, it will safely pass by Earth. There's no way it's going to hit. And then, of course, it landed in the sea. Luckily, it landed in the sea. We just had a humongous blast in Africa that left a gigantic crater, which I showed you the video for that. That, they said it was an ammunition truck. Later on, experts, and again, the official story is still, which was super weird, the African, I guess the governor or chieftain or again, they had a special name for him. He came out and he was one of the military leaders, and he said, yes, it was just a truck and blah, blah, blah. And you could tell that the guy literally didn't, know the full story. I mean, it was just fishy from the beginning. 2 days later, experts say absolutely not. There's an impact angle. There is a mark. There's even heat marks along the ground. And then there's this huge, huge thing. There was no trace of any kind of explosive material. So they say it really had to have been some sort of larger, space rock of some sort. So again, that was an official, documented, expert analysis there that we actually showed you just the other day. It says the workhorse instruments in that effort are the Twin Panoramic Survey Telescope and Rapid Response System, or PAN-STARRS, telescopes in Hawaii, as well as the 3 Catalina Sky Survey SSS or CSS telescopes in Arizona, and both those efforts continue. So again, this is something they say the ones that we control are still running. And out of famous movies, if you talk about, I want to say it was Armageddon. I think it was Armageddon, where they come and they tell the guy and they say, the only people that know about this, we have all control. There's 9 telescopes that can see this thing, and we have control of 8 of them. All of the rest are shut down. And I just thought it was pretty crazy that there's all of these movies. In fact, every asteroid movie has kind of quoted some of it, which, mind you, those are movies that have experts that are on the payroll that say, this is what would happen in a real scenario. And that's exactly what is happening now. Just like with the, what movie was that? Contagion. A lot of similarities to what is going on now, down to the social distancing, down to the limiting of people, down to people walking out the store and doing their hand sanitizer. I mean, it's really almost scary how close that video or that movie is to real life and what is going on. And again, we're on like day 7 of that or something. Then we have T-Man going into hiding. Now, of course, there's sides to this. There's one side saying it's because he made dumb remarks and about, cleaning supplies and this and that. Not going to get into that. There's the other side saying otherwise. All I'm saying is that essentially he is kind of cleared his schedule and now not to be found 4 days before a lot of people think, all of these people were kind of dipping out. Mike Pence been seen since we did that video where he went to Colorado, which is also the entrance to that thing? He has been at some of these events.
Yeah. He's been seen.
So again, we even said in that video, if we're proven wrong, great. But again, just a week ago, he did an unexpected actual visitation to where NORAD is and where the Cheyenne Mountain bunker is. Now, again, this has a side to it, but it says it looks like President T is going into hiding from the press. That is, facing an avalanche of controversy over his bizarre comments on sunlight and dangerous comments regarding disinfectants. So not going to get into the back and forth on this because it is quite a debate. But again, you guys can go and read the rest of that. The point is, possibly for the next few days, he might not be doing his task force meetings. And that's the crazy part too, is they're talking about him not doing them or stopping them just like now. Right? It's a little weird. Then, of course, if you remember, North Korean dictator Kim is kind of m.i.a. They are now saying, and there's tons of sources saying, other than South Korea, saying that he is either in a vegetative state or he has passed on. There was pictures. Somebody sent me a Hal Turner thing where it showed kind of a very blurry picture of him, looks like sleeping or at a funeral. I don't know. I don't think, I just would ask that we get a better source on that before we believe that. But again, that very well could be true.
If y'all want to check that, I posted a picture from his father's funeral. And you can compare and see if you think that's real or not. It's on my Twitter.
And the father's funeral, it was very grandiose. And it just, something about it, didn't really.
It was the same layout. It was exactly the same layout.
So do you think
just a different angle?
Do you think that they kind of pasted his picture on there, like turned him sideways and photoshopped or something like that?
Well, yeah, and if you had a picture from way back then, it would be lower resolution. If somebody snapped a picture today, I don't care what country you're in, it's at least 8 megapixels, right?
8 megapixels. So that's like the days. Yeah, maybe on a phone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's at least 8 megapixels, and that one that's floating around is horrible. It's very grainy.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we've kind of seen here. Real quick, Zippy Moons, that's no moon, that's a space station. Talking about the moon. Thank you for the Ninja Guinea. It says Whitney 0109. Thank you for being on a 2-month streak. End times, thank you, Adam, and keep your spirits high much. Michael 44, y'all rock. And Zippy Moons, thank you guys all for throwing Ninja Guineas. That's absolutely awesome. Sometimes I wish they would change the names of these things, but it's all good. End times, all angles point to mayhem or a reset in population. There is so much more to this than any of us will ever be able to decipher. Clark and Clark TN Riders, or Clark Tennessee Riders 187. Thank you so much for the diamond. We've got multiple people. Duck Hawk, thank you for the lemon. Cindy, Jumpmaster, Grace for you too. Thank you for the lemons and thank you for the diamond, Grace. Great to see you smile tonight. The truth will reach those it is meant to, says Grace for you too. Susan loves the Huskies. Thank you. Sly the Coffee. And then with J Star Oregon. I love Saturday night Marfoogle and any other time you're on. Glad you are all here. Kelly 2334. Thank you so much. Zippy Moons. I appreciate that again. The truth will always find those who believe. So there's a lot of folks here. Thank you guys for coming out. Running with Scissors says, I'm part of the originals, Marf. Much love to the fam. I will say this. There's some folks that have literally been here since I was doing videos in my car. I'm talking to you. Thank you guys for sticking with me. Even through drama, through people trying to drag my name through the mud. I mean, if people don't get that when since we cover such a broad scale, anytime we get close, it seems like we get attacked. And if people don't believe that that really happens, it's absolutely scary. And it is sometimes on a high level. I mean, Hot Musket literally had a response from the Pentagon itself, responding to something that came from this show. Why would they do that? Why would they actually make a response to something that came off of this show? A little YouTube show, right? If people think it's so dumb, why would Lieutenant Colonel Baldanza, the spokesman for the Pentagon at the time, even say anything? So just remember that when I get dragged through the mud, I really appreciate those of you who stay there and put your hands up for me to fall back on. It is remembered. I don't forget. I really do really appreciate that. Based Amy, thank you. Hi from England. Lockdown, no end in sight. England and other places, their lockdowns are actually very odd. It's crazy. Michelle Bybee over on YouTube, thank you for the super chat. Mindy Bauman, thanks for telling it like it is. Ira Berry, love the channel, Adam and Dex. You guys are the best. Thanks for the streams. Much love. MG Toe Forever, thank you. You're all awesome, he says, and donated $4.20. I wonder if there's any significance to that number. 420. 420. I don't know. I guess I'm behind on the news. Aaron Williams, James Ebo, thank you for subscribing. Rhiannon, Aloha from Hawaii again. I was the one who started your fan page on Facebook. It's going well over there. I shouldn't have said anything then. That's probably the first time in years. Lucky Chicken 6 by Theodore Felder and John Martinez. Thank you. I don't know why I said Martinis instead of Martinez. All right, and then to get into this, Kim is in a vegetative state. This is according to Japanese media. So it's not just South Korea, it's not Russia, it's not all of these other countries that are kind of arguing about it. Japanese media is also backing up, which in fact, Japan has an amazing connections on, Japan has been right about several things coming out of NK for a long time. I don't know if it's because they have some sort of, inside person there, but they have been accurate on a lot of their stuff. Hence why, NK has actually threatened them a lot and done all of these things. It is in Japan's best interest to get the most accurate information because they've actually sent missiles over Japan. If you guys remember, the videos were super creepy. If you ever want to go down that rabbit hole, look at the air raid sirens when NK sent missiles over the top of them. Absolutely creepy. Even if it's in Japan, it's like, or in Japanese, it's just the creepiest sound. And their air raid sirens are not like us. It's like, ding dong, missile from NK, please get inside. Absolutely creepy. But they are saying that Kim's health could be more serious than initially believed, according to reports. Reports emerged earlier this week that Kim was gravely ill following heart surgery, although that has since been disputed. However, Japanese media now claims that Kim is in a vegetative state following a stent procedure, so putting in a little piece to keep his heart going. Now, I could see how that could fail utterly bad. I mean, there's bad things that could happen. I mean, they I don't know, they probably don't have the best doctors over there, I'm assuming, but
well, again, what if you're the doctor?
Oh man, anti-air gun, there you go. Good night.
Yeah,
good night.
And if you wanted to bring in a doctor from outside, right, because you needed a better doctor, would you really trust them?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why people think that this could have been something from out of the country, like they placed somebody very carefully. When you talk about the former KGB and some of the MI6 and CIA and some of the stuff that they have done, it's nothing short of the same thing. I mean, like planting people for 20 years to get a mission completed. You're talking about sleeper cells here in America. They say 1 out of every 100 is actually in a Ryanian sleeper. So, it very well could have been something that was, I'll let you guys think about that. And, of course, it's up to you guys. Memory 66 says 123 equals code. Love Marfoogle. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Nameless Block, thank you for the lemons. And Kelly2334, thank you. Tuck Pup, 4 plus 20 plus Q plus 17 plus 67 equals blunts? I don't know. Not a math guy. That was very good, Tuck Pup. I like it. If you guys want to support us in a different way, if you guys are all at home in the first place, you guys should have Nord. It is a VPN. Everybody is going to be on their computers for however long this lasts. And if you're in Europe, could last forever indefinitely, or at least that's what they're telling you guys. You can protect your computer. You should be, because this is when those cyber prowlers are out at their most. It actually can protect up to 6 devices with one plan, including phones. So your kid's phone, your kid's tablet, or they can end up getting in and basically copy who you are. They could ruin your perfect credit score that you've worked for your entire life. So again, hide your IP from the bad guys. Get NordVPN at marfooglenews.com/VPN. You can use the code Marfoogle for NordVPN and get up to 70% off. Now, this is another thing I wanted to remind you guys. Why did hundreds of CEOs, and by the way, It's now up to 3,000. CEOs resign just before the world started going absolutely crazy. This is something people have asked a lot recently because we just had another big one step down. AT&T was yesterday or the day before. Absolutely giant company, and it was unexpected again months before it was supposed to transition, and it was a different kind of transition. It says one financial publication is using the phrase the great CEO exodus to describe the phenomenon that we have been witnessing. It all started last year when chief executives started resigning in numbers unlike anything we have ever seen before. The following was published by NBC last November. Now, check this out. It says, chief executives are leaving in record numbers this year, with more than 1,332 stepping aside in the period from January through the end of October, according to new data released on Wednesday. While it's not unusual to see CEOs fleeing in the middle of a recession, it is noteworthy to see such a rash of executive exits amid robust corporate earnings and record stock market highs. Remember that before this happened, it was the best economy you could get in. These guys were leaving right in the middle of it, right at the high, no idea about whatever this was, right? And then they leave during the best time for money right before this happened. Not only that, we've seen all of these CEOs bounce out, and it's all continuing. Now we're seeing a ton, and it's like every single day we're seeing 3 major CEOs step down. Why? Do they not want to be at the helm of a company right before it takes a dive? They already have. So they're leaving during the bad part anyways, but they are all leaving. Where are they going? They're not going to another company. They're retiring. Some of them very early, talking about 37-year-old CEOs retiring. And yes, that's fine. If you're multi-millionaire, go for it. Good for you. I would love to. But again, these guys are retiring. They're not leaving that company and going to another more successful one. They're just leaving. Microsoft, Hulu, all of these big companies, AT&T, Virgin, all of the big ones. All of the guys that are really, really connected. Where are they going? You've got all of our military and leaders. They've actually been quoted saying in public eye, saying we can't tell you who else is coming, but it's not all military. It's not only government either. So they said that civilians are being pulled in there. They're talking about continuity of government. Why? China has now disconnected all of this different stuff, all of their gaming community and everything else disconnected. You've got Russia disconnecting. You've got all of these things happening. And now because of this event that has happened worldwide, they are saying, everybody is screaming, don't make anything over there. We're making everything here again. How do you think that that's going to make that country feel when we owe them such a gigantic amount of money and they make almost everything for us? We were extremely dependent on China, and now people are realizing it. 90% of our antibiotics were made in China. A ton of our meat, all of these meat companies shutting down, people are realizing they were owned by them. WH Group owned a huge portion of them, including Smith Foods. You're talking about all of these different things happening all at once. You've got places all over the country. They say that they're easing up. Georgia, where Dex is, they said they're opening up restaurants and tattoo shops, and they're opening up haircutting salons. So we get a feeling of this like, oh, okay, it's all getting better. But I have a feeling that we haven't really seen the full effects of this yet. It is quite crazy. Which brings me to my next point. Guys, get in the Discord. We have over 15,000. I don't even know how many. Somebody said we had 20,000. I don't think that's correct. But we had at least 15,000 last I checked. These are state groups. You can get in and you can meet people that are just like you. People that aren't going to say that you're crazy for what you believe. You can talk about whatever you want in there. There's different groups, but there's also different states broken into different sections. Say you live in Tennessee. Well, meet your Tennessee people and get together and organize, because that is the exact thing we need to do right now. And if you choose to meet in person, that is up to you. I'm not going to say anything about it. Exclusive military channel for former and current military. You will be confirmed by another vet that is already in there. Please do not try to get in there with false valor. Otherwise, you'll be kicked out of all groups, even if you just attempt. That's at marfooglenews.com, the same place you sign up for our Marfoogle alerts. Our Marfoogle alerts are what we would send out in an emergency situation, or if we are letting you know what we're doing, we send out very few. So make sure to get on there, marfooglenews.com. And then, of course, DOD isolating critical troops and commanders to be ready in a crisis amid this pandemic. It says some of the most critical U.S. senior military commanders and nuclear and special operations forces are now operating under extraordinary protection measures. Now, again, a lot of this stuff we've known for weeks. Okay, so this isn't a breaking news show. I wanted to make sure you guys really get the message here. I wanted to really, compact this so you guys absolutely know without a doubt that at least there is preparation for this. When you look at what the government is doing and when you look at what the military is doing, it is something that we should model our own preparations for. DHS putting out the, of course, EMP shield, all of the stuff for that, as far as that's why we work with them. That was back in 2018. DHS putting out the warnings about the bulletins about Ryan and all of these other countries doing stuff, right? It's all part of kind of their, they prepare themselves and they get ready. So when it happens, they're all good. But guess who's called crazy when they prepare for those same things? Us. Well, don't care if people call you crazy. Don't go overboard. Do a little bit at a time. Spend $10 a week if you have to, or $10 a month, and get a couple supplies here and there. Now, during this, everybody knows. People said that we were all crazy for preparing and having extra food. Well, when this hit, look at how many people are out of a job and absolutely desperate. If they would have put $5 or $10 in food away, they would have had food through this entire thing if they started doing it 2 years ago when I said. So remember, don't worry if somebody says you're crazy, but don't remember to self-reflect and know if you are doing something crazy. So don't sell your house and go sleep in a tent or something. We're not there yet. If we were, we would at least tell you something. Again, it says there have only been vague references to many of these measures, but taken together, they present a picture of how much worry and effort is going into ensuring the pandemic stops short of impacting the nation's defense. General Mark Milley, which is involved in that weird, creepy joke that guy made, said, "Everybody, you better get to know Mark Milley because he's about to be your new president." Or, along those lines. It says, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff has publicly voiced concern that the military's readiness must be maintained. It says, I think we will have moderate to low levels of readiness impacts, Milley said March 24th, if the number of military cases remains relatively low. In Colorado Springs, again, that's where Mike Pence ended up stopping by the other day. Just, surprise visit since it was supposed to be on computer. So maybe he stopped by here. And by the way, I just want to say, he stopped by NORAD. I mean, come on. It's the vice president going to Colorado Springs. Why would he not stop by NORAD and Cheyenne Mountain when all of their guys are in there? It's funny because that wasn't on the docket. It wasn't on the schedule. And what publicly is that he went to talk to these cadets, right? Just saying. It says, in Colorado Springs at the headquarters of NORAD and the Northern Command, so-called distributed operations are now in place. NORAD monitors U.S. airspace against threats and intrusions against Russian military aircraft. I like how they just say Russian. Northern Command is coordinating the military assistance for the pandemic. It says, we are isolating specific command personnel involved in critical mission areas. They're taking these people and they're putting them in the side of a mountain and other locations. Everything is underground. Now the president is just taken a break from the press. We've got Russia silent. China, Xi, is not been saying anything. You've got NK leader just apparently gone, m.i.a. somewhere. You guys see kind of a super obvious pattern, but here's the thing. If there's a Congress and Senate, can you tell them? And you see it too, right, Dex?
Oh yeah, I see it. I mean, look, today was a big day in NK, and if he was going to come out, today would have been the day. It was a big event for the military and whatnot. He would have made an appearance. So he's not available, and I'm not sure why. And Congress, they're not there. They're all working from home, quote unquote.
It's very, very strange. All of the stuff that's going on, and we're just here asking questions. That's all. I mean, there's so much more too. I mean, there's just a ton. What presidents have been coming out and saying stuff, and then all of a sudden, ours is one of the most active. Even in Europe, they said that their president wasn't their president. Wait, can we check though? Some of you European watchers, what is the state of your prime minister? What is going on with Boris? Do we know? Is he out and talking to everybody?
Well, he recovered, but that he was under, obviously he had CV, so he has a reason to be hidden.
Somebody says NK is a CIA asset. Well, it would explain why they're missing or gone or whatever. China rolling NK to put region in check, says somebody else. April Osborne, what's going on? Thunderbird says he is going to start something here. Gosh, really does go that fast. BJ is not out. Karma is here. Thank you. Soul Woman, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Soul Woman, thank you for the $20 super chat. You can always write a message. You can actually, with the more you do, the longer message you can write. Sue Speaks, thank you again as well. You can always write a message with that. MG Toe Forever, mods are awesome. Another 420. And then we've got Christy Hawk. Thank you. I'm so happy I found this channel. Finally, some facts and someone who is not fear-mongering. Thank you. Thank you. Too much? That is the most annoying thing I hear. Somebody could tell me I'm ugly. Somebody could tell me that I'm a three-toed sloth, which is very offensive in some countries. But when you say I'm a fearmonger, then you don't watch the show. People watch for 5 minutes. Even my best friend, his brother, took one look at my channel, looked at thumbnails and things like this, and said, oh, he's fearmongering. They don't watch. They judge by the cover, which, again, with this brings my point into this. You can have something that is absolutely true, but if they repeat it enough, people just go, yeah, no, it's not. They can deny something so blatantly obvious. Say there was a spaceship in the middle of the sky, they would deny it and say, nope, it's not there, it's not there, it's not there, until you thought you were crazy. They would even probably say, no, in fact, some people are actually getting a new allergy that makes them see orbs in the sky. You might be one of those, so you're the crazy one. And people would believe it. Justin True, aloha, brother. We were just talking about Hawaii and their telescopes. Mahalo from Hawaii. We have, family moved off Hawaii now, but Hawaii was a good chunk of our family over there for a long time, up until about a year and a half ago. Hawaii's got a lot of action going on, which Justin True is a great channel. If you, I'd love if you went and checked out what is going on. Don't know if it's on your island or not. But again, you can deny something to the point where somebody will take something incredibly obvious. All of the circumstantial evidence, I mean, you're in a court, they would say you're guilty. Circumstantial evidence is enough to literally put them in jail. But if it's the government, they can just say, nope, it's not. Nope, and no. And then people believe it. It's kind of how it goes. Sammy Gotti, thank you. In Adam and Dex, we trust. Foogle fan for life. Well, thank you very much. Jeremy Cosilato, thank you for subscribing. Claire Spence, thank you for the super chat as well. MG Till Forever. I miss a lot of shows because of work. I love you all. Well, MG, I'm so glad you've been here a long time. You are one of the oldest subscribers, I think, next to like Ricky and some of the other guys. Canless Lupus. Whoa, thank you so much, Canis Lupus. Canis Lupus. I feel like I'm insulting somebody. Canis Lupus. Thank you so much. That's an extremely generous super chat. I appreciate that. K King, thank you so much as well. Gregory Lovas, you guys are the best. Keep it up. Gail Jackson, Cheryl Beth Carter, love you, Foogle fam. Hugsies to Adam and Dex. Nikki, haven't seen you in a minute. You very welcome here. Thank you again, Michelle Bybee. Mindy Bowman, thanks for telling it like it is. So, with all of this going on, what do you guys think? There's going to be a lot more coming out as we kind of go down the road. It says there is no evidence that recovering CV-19 gives people immunity. This is straight from the WHO, by the way. I'm not going to say anything on this. On these shows, the multi-platform, that isn't backed up. So they are saying, in a scientific brief, the United Nations agency warned governments against issuing, quote, immunity passports or risk-free certificates to people who have been infected, as their accuracy could not be guaranteed. The practice could actually increase the risks of continued spread, as people who have recovered may ignore advice about taking standard precautions against the virus. So not wearing a mask, they don't care, they already got it, they're done with it, all of that, right? This is what they're saying. But in a lot of people's opinions, it's a designed thing, so it's actually going to keep going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny. Quote, some governments have suggested that the detection of antibodies to the SARS-CoV, the virus causes CV, could serve as the basis for, quote, an immunity passport or risk-free certificate that would enable individuals to travel or to return to work, assuming that they protected against reinfection, the World Health Organization said, which, as we know, the president and a bunch of other folks are saying that they want to cut support and things like this. Isn't that right, Dex? Am I wrong? That a lot of people want to they want to cut the support to them?
No. We did. We announced we were cutting it. We're withholding it while it's being looked into further.
Absolutely nuts. So they're doing a full-scale investigation and pulling back the money while they investigate what the heck is going on. So I guess even the government is saying, or publicly saying, we don't believe anything you say. So they're not going to listen to that, I guess. It says the global toll tops 200,000 as some lockdowns are eased. Again, Georgia, and it says Atlanta, as the global death toll from the CV surpassed 200,000 on Sunday or Saturday, countries took cautious steps towards easing lockdowns imposed amid the pandemic. But fears of a surge in infections made even some outbreak-wounded businesses reluctant to reopen. It says the states of Georgia, Oklahoma, Alaska started loosening restrictions on business despite warnings from experts that such steps might be premature. Sean Gingrich, CEO and founders of Lions Den's Fitness, decided after the Georgia's governor announcement at his Atlanta gym would remain closed for now. So they're saying, places like that, that even though they are now allowed to do it, they're saying we're still going to keep this closed. I'd love to hear what you guys think, especially in the comments below or in the chat. What do you guys think? Do you think it's time to reopen? Do you think we should stay closed? Do you think they should tell us the truth? What do you guys think? I would love to hear what you guys say. Carol L. Higginson, thank you so much. That is, and she says, and, just the and sign. Thank you so much. I like you guys when you, write messages to me, so don't know if that's not available. Patricia Parent, another one from Canada, extremely gracious for the $50 super chat. Canadian, which I think that's even worth more here now, which is crazy. Thank you, Patricia. Mike Mixon, Ilea. I have severe poison oak on my arm that won't stop weeping. Any doctors in the house? I need a remedy to stop the weeping, please. Actually, you know what's really cool is you can actually go to the Foogle fam for that kind of stuff. What's crazy is my wife hit something when we were hiking the other day, and it's been like 2 weeks of a rash on her wrist from just barely swinging by a bush. Now that they're saying that spring is coming earlier for all these places, they're also saying the makeup of our planet is actually changing the seasons earlier and all of these weird things. Plants are becoming more aggressive and more dangerous. There's all sorts of studies that I actually wanted to kind of put into a separate show. Alicia Danielle says, thanks, Adam and Dex and Foogle fam. Timmy E, thank you. Zelda, my hubs works for Homeland Security. Loves you. Again, that was Zelda says, my hubs or hubbies works for Homeland Security. Loves you. That's awesome. We have a lot of military, police, all sorts of folks. I just got a fire chief that messaged me and said he loves the show. I thought that was cool. Claire Spence, good to see you here, Adam and Dex. CFS 69. Claire Spence, I'm glad that you clarified. I love knowing, multiple screen names because I don't know who's who. Dr. Wolfgang Wodarg Re-Pandi. OMG. So again, Zelda is saying to look into Dr. Wolfgang Wodarg. That's what a weird name. Wodarg. Wolfgang Wodarg. Tom Murphy, missile alert in Hawaii back when? Not a coincidence. Dex, did you see that by Tom Murphy? Says missile alert in Hawaii back when? Or question mark, not a coincidence.
Yeah, the one you covered back in the day,
I
right?
know. What else was back then? I'm trying to figure out. Back then they had the DHS alert in 2018.
You had all the NK stuff going on around that time too, right?
Yeah. That's when everybody was scared of NK.
Yeah. And there was a lot, went over Japan and other stuff. So yeah, it was about that same time.
I really do wonder, what is going on over there and what the heck is going on. Kelly Josie, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Nice to have you here for as long as you have been here. Next step, Skynet. Okay, so if you guys have not followed previous shows where we've talked about Skynet, it says Pentagon is plugging AI into supply chain data amid CV-19. This is huge, Dex. Like, this may just be like a side story to some people, but do you guys realize we've talked about Skynet for 2 years? People have talked about it for much longer than that. Skynet is not a freaking joke. It's not just in Terminator. Skynet is a real thing. Why they named it that, considering what it is even more scary. It is. It's going to connect all the AI and the Internet of Things. I mean, you're literally talking about having AI control our planet in the future. This is why Elon Musk and others have said that truly is more of a risk, and he's more scared of that, or he is increasingly more scared of that than a WW3. That's incredible that they're doing this. It says the Department of Defense has jumped at the chance to prove the worth of its new artificial intelligence capabilities amid the CV pandemic, with the move coming just months after the approval of a set of guidelines for the, quote, ethical use of AI technology on the battlefield. The Joint Artificial Intelligence Center, the JAIC, said that the entity created in 2018, again, that year was a lot of stuff popping off, to oversee and coordinate nearly all of the Pentagon's AI-related efforts, has come up with a prototype tool which can be plugged into logistics and supply chain data to sniff out potential supply shortages ahead of time, basically predict the future of their shortages amid the CV-19 crisis. And it says Defense One has reported, citing officials, it says the tool named Salus, after, and this is going to be way more important than people think, after the Roman goddess of welfare, there's no coincidences there, health and prosperity, is touted as being capable of using predictive analytics to find areas where supply shortages are expected, from the level of individual stores to zip codes, states, and even the entire continental U.S. It says Salus is already said to be deployed with the supply and logistics system of Northern Command, responsible for territorial defense. Do you get the plot of what Terminator was? Is that Skynet went off and it essentially used our own defenses against us. All of the nukes launched and hit us. These kind of systems are slowly going over and transferring over to AI. Does this scare you, Dex? Why would they be doing
certainly.
this?
And the thing is, with the CV now, and the new rules that are in place, and the declaration of emergency, and the other act that we use, not Stafford, but the Defense Production Act, all of these things are in place and allow us to do certain things. And we've seen, whether it's right or wrong, but we've seen, the DOD have stepped in. We've got a military leader running the show when it comes to logistics and how they're bringing all of these parts and pieces together, whether it's the pieces needed in a factory for the development of a ventilator, or if it's how to get, masks to, a hospital in New York or something like that, right? So all of that stuff is now being run and managed by DOD. And this is their opportunity, and obviously they're seizing it to plug in their AI into much more than just their own logistics. Now they're taking it to the other logistics that are out there. I mean, logistics, if you guys aren't familiar, this is how stuff is shipped, procured, picked up, moved around. If you got to build a car and it has, 1,000 parts, a lot of those parts come from different places. So what is the logistics of lining all those parts up at the right time, at the right place to bring them in to make a car come out to the factory at the other end?
So with all of these things getting lined up, it's just one little step over a line that they're not trying to draw that could really put us into trouble. When you end up connecting these same kind of systems, when you end up finding that this system is so safe that you can connect it to our nuclear missiles or something else and say, well, we've studied it for years, it's never gone off path, it's never done this, it's never done that, and then all of a sudden you connect it to other stuff, that's where other people get scared. I mean, you're talking about, the thing is people don't really register what AI truly is becoming. It is actually becoming its own mind. You're talking about something that can think for itself, that might think for itself and say, hey, humans are doing a disservice to the earth. We don't need humans. Or we need to make sure that we, you're talking about stuff. They've now created things, a robot that can build other robots. And I'm not talking about like manufacturing, like brainless, like actually come up with a design and build another robot. These are the kind of things that DARPA and all of these companies are working on. It's absolutely terrifying. End times. Thank you for going absolutely crazy off, gifting subs to Smoke Some, Estella Mitchell, Sadie, Evergen, Catrice, and a bunch of people. Lady T, I have not seen you very often, so thank you so much. Thanks for all the info, says Lady T 2222. Tuck Pup says, immune or not, and our systems aren't getting any stronger, locked down, and we can't change what we avoid. So talking about the lockdowns and, if they should end. Barrett, reopen and tell the truth is his opinion. And then Delafina, not sure why we are opening when the toll is up. It's a very good point. Aussie's Walkabout, Plow Mute, Minnesota Man, thank you for the diamond. I'm sorry. And then the lemons. And then that Chowky Gal, Renegade Petey, thank you for the lemons. Northeast Native, what's going on? You've been having some great videos on your channel. Make sure to check out Northeast Native. I think you can actually just click on their name and go to their channels. Cruiser, Shastina, Patreon Nomad, The Ear, thank you for the lemons. Maui's Racing Realtor, that's awesome. Thank you for the lemon. And then Granny Yardy, thank you for the diamond. Hot Rod Mama, I appreciate you. Amy R, aka Mini 70, thank you so much for everything you did yesterday. I appreciate you so much. I realized even after Dex called you out, I couldn't see the right name on my screen. So I ended up calling it at the end, but I don't know if you saw that. Thank you. Absolutely appreciated. And then let's see here. It says, Hawaii to visitors. This is you, Justin True, and all of you Maui and Mahalo people. Let's see. Visitors who break Hawaii's 14-day quarantine rule may get an unwelcome gift. A free flight home. They're basically saying, get the out of here. In Hawaii, the spirit of aloha normally greets visitors with warmth and welcome and one of those flowery things. Now, the state has discouraged visitors by requiring them to self-quarantine for 14 days, that culture of generosity might extend a free return ticket home. With a $25,000 grant from the Hawaii Tourism Authority, the nonprofit Visitor Aloha Society of Hawaii, or VASH, has instituted a CV-19 flight assistance program to return travelers who don't have the means to follow the mandatory 14-day quarantine. It says including paying for lodging and food delivery required of incoming visitors. Since launching the program on April 6th, the organization has sent 20 visitors to the airport of origin, including travelers from Guam, Los Angeles, Birmingham, Alabama, and Denver. I just thought of that. $25,000 is like nothing when it comes to flights and everything else. But I guess now, right as this was starting, and it's still now, I don't know how many planes you can actually go on. I don't know what states can actually travel. But you're talking about, we looked it up from Seattle to Georgia. It was like, it wasn't it like $45 or something? It was $88 round trip.
Yeah, it was ridiculously low. Now, they're up again, but yeah, that was crazy.
Ridiculous. And then it was, I swear on everything, it was, oh my gosh, it was like from here to Europe was like $600, $650 round trip. That is absolutely insane. It had like 5 transfers, everything. It was like $650. It was like $325 per route. And then at one point I looked at it, it was like $900. But still, do you realize how cheap that is? And this was like regular class, not even the worst class. It was the deplorable class, I think it was. They called it the deplorables. Yeah, that's what it was. Dom 808, mahalo for leaving. Kelly 2334, chips are falling. Thank you. I appreciate that. Trinity Red or Blue Pill Hi Ho Kermit the Frog here. Amy R, aka Mini 70. Thank you so much for everything. Angela 4110, Vibron, Renegade PD, Bones. What is going on? Thank you for coming over. And then CV detected on particles of air pollution. So this is another one that's coming out. This is from The Guardian. And I'll let you guys judge on this yourselves. CV has been detected on particles of air pollution by scientists investigating whether this could enable it to be carried over longer distances to increase the number of people infected. The work is preliminary and is not yet known if the virus remains viable on pollution particles and in sufficient quantity to cause disease. The Italian scientists used standard techniques to collect outdoor air pollution samples at one urban and one industrial site in Bergamo province and identified a gene highly specific to CV19 in multiple samples. The detection was confirmed by blind testing at an independent laboratory. What does that mean, Dex? That's essentially saying if it's true that this is in the air, it's in some sort of pollution.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty strong statement, and I would love to see more research on this, but to think that it can be on other particles, not just what's ejected from your mouth over 6 to 10 feet or however long
or
they claim it can go,
or ejected from something high up in the sky. We don't know.
Absolutely,
it's pretty weird. Very, very weird. You guys can read that on the website, marfooglenews.com. You can dig deep into it and really put together some stuff there. We know it. Meat supply threats grow with first Brazil shutdown. U.S. turkey halt. Plant shutdowns are leaving the U.S. dangerously close to meat shortages as the CV outbreaks now spread to suppliers across the Americas. Almost a third of the U.S. pork capacity is down. The first big poultry plants closed on Friday, and experts are warning that domestic shortages are just weeks away. Brazil, the world's #1 shipper of chicken and beef, saw its first major closure with a halt of the poultry plant owned by JBS SA. The world's biggest meat company. Key operations are also down in Canada. So these are what we need to pay attention to, the physical closures, because whether you believe this or believe that doesn't matter. If these companies are closing down regardless, these are not good signs for anybody. So we'll be watching very carefully.
And this also explains why we've seen the culling. We saw some culling recently of chickens, and at first I thought, something
Isn't
like
that
the
crazy?
flu, but it wasn't. It's the fact that they have nowhere to send them. There's no processing, so they're just having to cull them.
So again, there's no place to cut them, chop them, do them, whatever else they do with them. So they're just getting rid of them physically. Now it says showdown looms between Silicon Valley U.S. states over contact tracing apps. Now, this is the app that actually tracks you as you go around. And again, people thought that this was like an idea. They didn't realize until even after it was happening that this is already being done. You're talking about tracking people anonymously, they say, by their phone signals, so pinging. For instance, we watched and we actually showed you that example, and it showed thousands of little red dots on this map in the Florida beach. And then we watched and they actually show you the stats that they were watching, and it goes into time-lapse mode, and essentially these dots spread out, and you watch as it spreads all over half the country. I mean, you could see the dots just spread like it was covering the whole country, because all of those people went from that one little beach and then spread all over. So it kind of showed you how in a real scenario, if there was something that's highly contagious, there's 100 people there, then they spread to 100 different places. It creates this web, and that's exactly what they did this for. But a lot of people are saying that this is going to continue far past, including Edward Snowden was quoted saying that this is going to last until the end of time. So even after this is gone, it's going to continue.
Right.
Now it says, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to say, and the big debate right now that's going on, just to sort of, I can give you a little bit of a rundown on what's happening, is the debate between whether or not they're going to expose GPS data, right? And if they're going to tie it, because we talk about it's anonymous, and that's what they say. And sure, the way it's built, it's supposed to be anonymous. But the question is, are they going to tie that GPS data to the Bluetooth data so that you can actually show you where you've been and who you were near, as opposed to just what they can do today with just Bluetooth to say, hey, I can tell you ran into somebody with CV, but I can't tell you where it was, and I can tell you when it was, but I can't necessarily tell you where you were or where they are, because the way they built this system, they haven't actually connected the dots on those two pieces. And that's what's up for debate. whether or not they're going to do that. And obviously, it's interesting. The tech companies are saying, hey, we don't necessarily want to do this because we want to keep things anonymous and we want to allow people to have privacy, or they'll never use it. But then the governments are saying, well, maybe we need to have that because we want to have that feature. And that's sort of the debate right now going on between Apple and Google, which are both working together to build the product. And they're trying to take a position of privacy. And I guess the powers are telling them, no, you should add that other feature in.
So, what do you guys think of this? I would love to see some comments or some chat in the in both platforms. What do you guys think of them tracking your cell phones? Are any of you taking steps against this? Are you going to the store without your cell phone? Again, that's how they're only able to track you that way. That is why some think that they do want to take further steps, which they are actually in public. You know, there's a lot of people that say that we should actually have some sort of chip, and they say, you know, oh, this is crazy. You know, why do people care? You know, you're already doing it already. This would actually help. They're trying to say that it's a good thing to have this digital thing. It will be convenient.
They sort of dismiss the constitutional part, and they even say that they're like, oh yeah, we could, if we just had this and that's, oh yeah, there's a little bit of a constitutional issue there, but let's not worry about that. Let's look at what it's going to do for humanity.
It will be sold as a convenience. It's essentially a convenience for us, right? And it will be so helpful. See, that's where this kind of thing gets just really mucked up, because it's for safety of others. Under the Constitution, none of this really should happen, right? They shouldn't be able to say you have to close down your business or you have to stay in home. But then, you know, they kind of bend things because of an emergency. So people ask, why would they make an emergency to do these kind of things? Well, because they can't otherwise do it because of the laws that have already been made. That's why some folks think so. Skynet and tracking, what could go wrong, says Michelle K. Good point. Yeah, you got Skynet going and tracing apps. That's great. Chickawowski says 666. That is creepier. Chickawowski, stay healthier. Delphina, thank you. I appreciate that. I feel the CV coming in the air tonight. Oh, Lord, says Tuck Pub. Zippy Moons, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Tyson is also closed down here too. And we actually covered that. Tyson, one of the largest meat companies, closed down in many places. Global impact, yup, what you said. We've got tons. I'm embarrassed to say my city is now number 3 for infections. Thanks, JBS and humans celebrating quinceañeras. Quinceañeras. See, when I can't say something, I do something weird. Thanks. Angela, thank you. Scary how far technology and robots here have advanced. SOS Canadians need foo chat room, please. I don't know how. Okay, in Discord. Gotcha. And then that was Lady Green Eyes, and then Michael T44. Again, thank you for all of the folks over there. Nutsack909, love your nickname. I've been telling people about Skynet for the past 3 years. In fact, you were one of the people that called in on it, right? Did you ever get a chance to look at the white papers? There is so much more. We did briefly show them, and we're going to be doing a whole thing on Skynet coming up here. Timmy E, I don't have a cell phone. Will they buy me one? Yes, actually they will. There's the Obama phone. And I think even if you make so much, they're going to make it. You know, that's how China does a lot of their stuff. Everybody has to have a phone. That's why people were creeped out that 21 million cell phones just went blank, because those are basically representing human beings, because you have to have a cell phone to do anything, buy food, do this, do that. It's all required, you to have your state phone thing, your app. Tamara Abrams, Becky Phipp, hey Marf and crew, thank you, Bushel, Anna Peck on D-Live. Awesome, thank you. Well, that's kind of an easy one. National Guard has taken over airports and beaches, says Justin True, and he's in Hawaii. So he's saying National Guard has taken over airports and beaches. Able-bodied, God is good no matter what. Able Body, thank you for joining me on YouTube. I appreciate that. Justin True, Governor Ige met with Pentagon and NK in H&L. That is when love to do the dates on there. Wow, an overwhelming response. Thank you all so much. Took screenshots of the remedies you provided. You rock, fam. So Ilea said that she had walked through some stuff, Poison Oak, and literally everybody swarmed her with remedies. That's freaking awesome. That's what I'm talking about, Ilea. Cheryl Mara, thank you so much. And Kelly Josie, Claire Spence, crazy times. Glad we have the Foogle fam. Yeah, it's pretty nice. And by the way, NS909 has been one of the biggest proponents of saying, hey, look at the white papers for Skynet. It is some scary stuff. Skynet is real. It's the name might sound like something out of Terminator, but it is very real. Dom808, I appreciate that again. All of you guys over there. And then, of course, we've got China sent team, including medical experts, to advise on North Korea's Kim. So this is recent, in a new. So they are actually sending a team to see if Kim's okay. Now, this was a little bit out of place, but that was my fault. China has dispatched a team to North Korea, including medical experts, to advise on the NK leader, Kim, according to 3 people familiar with the situation. The trip by the Chinese doctors and officials comes amid conflicting reports of the health of the NK leader. Reuters was unable to immediately determine what the trip by the Chinese team signaled in terms of Kim's health. A delegation led by a senior member of the Chinese Communist Party's International Liaison Department left Beijing. Periods, people. Periods.
I think it's clear that just about every news organization has the source and has an interesting angle on what's going on with Kim, but not yet do we know the truth.
Yeah, I you know why? That's one thing I don't really understand. It's quite confusing. Let's see here. Just going to go into this. So why China? Like, China's been, so I guess, is China their best friend? Is that what goes on there? Is that how it works?
Yeah. I mean, basically, I think if, like I said earlier, if you're Kim and you needed a doctor and, you're going to trust the one you have, but if he's not good enough and you need an outside doctor, well, you would probably look to the U.S. for the best doctor, but there's no way Kim would trust anybody that would come from the U.S. So the only country I think that he would really trust would be China, because he has such a good relationship with them. So if he was to accept doctors or bring in doctors, that he could have some sort of trust that they weren't going to harm him or weren't going to intentionally harm him under some sort of espionage or whatever, then that's the country it would be, in my opinion, of all the countries he could turn to.
And they have some sort of partnership. Also, NK separates South Korea from China. Isn't that correct? I mean, they kind of, they're a buffer between them. So they kind of like having them there. Is that right?
Well, I guess. I mean, in the sense that China, I guess China sort of plays a role in trying to keep the peace between NK and SK, just like we play the role in trying to keep the peace from SK and NK, right? So it's, allies.
Yeah. So we're going to follow the situation and see what they actually end up saying about that and what they end up saying about him. If he is gone, it is a pretty significant thing to happen just in general. So it is going to be quite wild. Also, let's see here. I just wanted to do a special shout out to Amy R, aka Mini70. We've got Rabid Badger, Techno Gypsy. Thank you so much. I must have missed you. Dex J, thank you for you're doing stuff too. That's funny. Chips are falling. Tokomo Gaming. I'm sorry I didn't see you there. Tokomo Gaming is a global partner here on the platform, and for him to come over and support me, that really means a lot. For the global partners that have kind of been rooting me on, I think it's absolutely amazing. I really appreciate Kev Robo. If you guys want to check out, if you are into gaming and you're, not all into news, Kev Robo is really, really awesome guy, genuine person. And then Alpha is another good one. Tokomo Gaming, thank you. No worries. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Kahaja Fly Girl, thank you so much for the support. Jojo, Paul Revere, Jackson Greens, Melody. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you so much. Can't say enough. Zippy Moons, End Times, Tuck Pup, J Star Oregon, Chips Are Fallen, Techno Gypsy, and Rabbit Badger. I appreciate all of you guys. So let's see here. Dex, we have, I want to say some other things here, but first off, I do want to say, if you guys want to support us in a different way other than the channel, this is something that you guys should have either way. If you guys do not go through us, go around us, go to the website and do not put our code in if you really don't feel comfortable with that. If you do it with us, you actually get a discount, and you end up getting you end up supporting us as well. Now, EMP Shield is an actual device that grounds the signal before it fries your devices. And again, they keep sending out warnings about it. So please make sure to at least check them out. If you do not want to go through us, this is something I recommended before we worked with them. This is something that we read about. They are mentioned in the EMP Resilience Report by the Department of Homeland Security. They have worked with them. They have worked with the DoD. They are Keystone military tested, and now they're officially a part of the DEMSO team protecting the Texas grid. So these guys are no joke. It actually has multiple devices. You can get it for your car. You can get it for your house. You can end up getting it for all sorts of things. So make sure to check it out. marfooglenews.com/EMP. All right. And then again, so we did not actually let you guys know, which we should have. There will be no calls tonight. We are actually expanding and improving the phone system tonight. That's why we don't have the next up caller tonight. So I just wanted to let you guys know, if you have any really strong opinions about some of the stuff we have talked about here tonight, make sure to go out of your way and call in on the next show. Normally, Sundays and Mondays are our days off. Dex has a large family, and I have a large family. We usually spend at least Sunday. But this Sunday, Monday, we may be doing a couple little tiny things with our friends and with our friends and family, and then doing a small show with you guys. So we'll see what we end up doing. I just appreciate all of your guys' support. I can't say enough to some of the folks that are out there. People that have just really stuck out and really, really understandably helped us grow in such a way that, we want to bring on more people. We want to bring on reporters. I mean, this is something I never would have imagined a couple years ago. And now it's not a one-man show. Preferably, I would like to bring on people that I know and I've known for a very long time, that are, here every day, that care about this and really care about it as much as we do. So that is something that we are hoping to get accomplished. This virus hit at the wrong time. I mean, we were literally going to bring on 2 more people, and then it just... So you guys have helped us get through this. Hopefully we get through it together, as Susan Donahue would say, hashtag Team Humanity. Wybo CS, thank you for following. CV, the eagle and the bear shall unite against the dragon, says CV. That's a great quote. Mike Bradley, World Profit Club, thank you. That is extremely generous. Did a $50 super chat. Thank you. And then Claire Spence, crazy times. Glad we have the fam. Great show. Thanks for all you do, Dex and Mods. Says Stefan Diaz. Thank you for being here through the whole time too. Auntie M, Kiaja, all sorts of folks. Moxie Lady, Brad W. Let's see, Mel Sara. Nice to see you. And Dex this evening. Well, actually, so Dex, I don't know if you saw that, but Mel Sara just called you Deb, like Deborah, but that's okay.
Hey, that's better because the autocorrect on Dex is always with an S.
Des?
No, the first letter is an S. You
Seb?
get that all the time.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. I get you. I'm so dumb. Like, Seb?
Well, no, it's fun. It's funny
Jeb?
is really when they're saying it, and then they type it, and then they go, "Oh my God, I didn't mean to say that. I really meant Dex." Like, yeah, I get it. It's all right.
You and Dex. Yeah, never mind. Got our brain here. Okay. Well, thank you guys for joining us, Dex. Thank you for helping us out tonight.
Absolutely. Love you, brother.
Can't say enough.
God bless everybody.
And then we will be back. We're trying to figure stuff out with that. We are expanding the phone system to make it easier and better for you guys. We understand we've gotten some complaints about how when people aren't getting it, we want to make sure that you know you're not getting in if you're getting in. And if you are getting in, you are getting in. That was something that has been a recurring problem. We have made sure to make sure as much as we possibly can to put things back into the channel to improve. As you guys have seen, I used to do this stuff in my car. So just can't say enough for everybody. Jody Strouser. Wowzer. Jody Strouser. Please check out Brenda Weltner. There are 3 Raptures and Coming Tribulation and Harlot of the Beast with a $49.99 super chat. You guys, you don't have to do all that. Thank you guys. Love you guys. Be safe. Be prepared. And Marf out. It's officially time for the shoutro. It's not a shout out. It's not a shoutro. Wait, it's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a shoutro. You got to smoke some in the Johnny Joe. Jody Strouser and the rest of them. M.i.a. me 70. And the rest we know they'll come soon. Now we've got the enchanted bayou, Brandon Foogle, famine play hard 69 too, and you've got that Earth woman going all the way, Willie Z and all the fam too, and the Q love that they say. Grey go to and Little Pill, got that mommy Sony Sill, Laura Griffith and Jonathan Esparza got a ring. Hey, Brandon Foogle fam, Bones and a J Stone, 78 in April, Osborne gotta go and gotta go. Mendoza and NTM, me Rona and Mr. Stem, West 72 and Karma is here. Hey, short giraffe, able-bodied and red bill, gotta go back down and you know we love you. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 humana. Go and bring it down like they are. Someone says it's a waste of time. It doesn't really matter cause you can find another channel to watch. Coming back rocks in your pockets as you jump off that short dock. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. M.i.a, Mini 70, thank you so much. Calm down, it's just me, Randy Newman, Tommy telling the truth. I am Rots, chips are falling, Marfoogle's gold, Gem, Brandon, Foogle fam, Sleuth, the nameless blog, DD 666 Sour, thank you. Yabu C Skis and Jody Strouser, Barefoot Lash, thank you. Says love to Marf Dex and the mods. Nutsack 909, thank you. Timmy E, Tamara Abrams, Becky Phipps. And of course, just and true. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey. Humana, 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 hey.
Marfoogle News, nobody comes close. Sam Gotti, Jemmy Castellato and Adi, Mr. Mecca mixing and Patricia Apera and Carol Higgins and then the rest of Ilea and them. Got that Becky Phipps and Tamara Abrams. I'm gonna say ya. Ha, 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 ha. They ask for the cowbell.
Where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News. Marfoogle News. Where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News. Marfoogle News. Where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News. Wrong. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Marfoogle News, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News.
And going back and round, I just gotta see that Misha pushing Bush and the Penelope 90 with the rest of the Trinity and Northern Tiger and the rest. Gotta say it's not a stress. I bring it on back and you know that why. Gotta go back and you know that why. Gonna go say and you know I die if I couldn't be bold as a lion. I'm bringing that so-called Chris Petty, going back now in the touristic kitty. Gonna bring down and you got that pity with the hard jacks and you've got a pox party and a Chickawa going back now with the ginger grin and the Chickawa now. Everything, nothing, gonna bring Puss and Booze back with that Rebo Snarfle. And you got the color purple with the Johnny Doom and Love Big goes with the rest of the room. And us Joe Dan when I don't know how to say his name with the PG-93 and Hate Mary Sharp and the three or more. Calm down, it's just me in the store and Mary Torres. That's gonna say that fun mama go. Dun 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 dun.
Where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News. I'm looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Marfoogle News, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News.
Lena Jean and AJ, BLB and JLBJ got to go and say Calla J and Fly Girl, Maria Burgess. And I was about to say something that I shouldn't have, cause I made a mistake. Lisa Causey.
Marfoogle News, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News, Marfoogle News, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News.
Big shout out to m.i.a. Minute 70 for being that top contributor this month. But even if she is not just a respect the ones that have stuck with us through thick and thin. I just gotta say thank you to Who and Mrs. Mustard Tim. I love the way, I love the way. I just wanna say, hey, 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 got to go, and you know that we've got to say the same thing now. Gonna bring it back, gonna calm it down. Mama Henry and the observant, servant, gonna bring that renegade PD with a necklace fly, red butterfly and the CJ play, taller Vandermeer ways. Gotta go back with the Gloria Y. Gonna bring it all the way down. Shannon L in the number 2 pencil. Gonna bring it back like it never gonna rent you. Bombing this home in the 95. I bring it back right and you know it's right. And the Pope Francis is the official pop, a prophet of that Bible. Oh, and if you've seen how the puppet now, and the heat might just be a hologram. Calm down, it's just me, the nameless Block RJ on the bass, and the baby girl, and you know the soul, and Jason 78, Gordon and Joe. Why not cannabis? Bring it back now. Up it, Kelly2334 is our #1 luckiest followers. She just walked home with 222 lemons. Second is Angela4110. Number 3, Trinity. Red or blue pill, hi-ho, Kermit the Frog. And Tiger Lily 413, One Bunch and 74. And Ginger Grin was number 5. And thank you for Stick and Thrive. Thank you all. I appreciate you. Thank you. And a special thank you to Susan Donahue, Melissa, Sweet Melissa, Stormy 7572, End Times, Zippy Moons, Dex J. Yeah. Have a good night.
You want to know what's going on? What's really going on when it happens? Go to marfooglenews.com and get Marfoogle alerts along with a Discord invitation where you can find your local state group and get together with the Foogle fam. You'll find fast friends where you'll share prep and intel, and there's even special groups for former and current military. But don't try and steal the valor of those who have really served. It won't go well for you. The Marfoogle fam is waiting for you.
We will be hosting a person on D-Live. So if it's something that offends you, please make sure to put your seat in the upright position and make sure to not open your eyes.